Women historically have not had the more prominent field level positions in sports, and I think that prejudice still runs deep in a lot of people that have been working in sports for 20, 30, 40 years.
Especially within the sports industry, and then on top of that, the creative industry, being a woman, it's so necessary to have other female leadership that you can look up to.
Having mentors like them, there's just nothing like it.
When I started in this space working, I didn't really have any female mentors in the sports world, in athletics or in my major. My boss was a man, his boss was a man. My first semester of freshman year when I was in college, I was going out to work my very first football game ever, and so I had on my little khakis, I had on my little polo, I had my credential. My credential was an all-access credential, and my boss told me, I want you to stand in the team box and film the game from the team box. So that was my assignment, that's where I stood. Standing there in the team box, I'm filming the game, and one of our assistant athletic directors comes over and says to me, what are you doing in the team box? Mind you, I'm still standing right next to my counterpart, another intern, who's an undergrad student who's wearing the same khakis as me, the same polo, and has the same credential, carrying the same camera, and this man never once addresses my fellow intern, who is a male. There was a perception, this was in 2015, and there was maybe a perception that women didn't necessarily have a role in the team box. So that, I think, picture just didn't necessarily align in his brain. And I've seen that story duplicated over and over and over again at each of the stops that I've worked at. In my 10 years in this industry, there is nothing that I am more proud of than getting to say that I was a small part in Zion's career trajectory.
Okay. Dope, dope. Dope, dope, dope. Dope, dope, dope. Catchphrase. Are you feeling? I'm gonna be so awkward today. My catchphrase is dope, dope, dope. I've been saying that unconsciously, low-key, since I started working with football. All right, we're gonna go tempo. We gotta change lines. Overall, just like my initial introduction into football, it was like, that was a daunting experience. A lot of, machismo and stuff. I got a sense of like imposter syndrome, where I was like, I'm not like really supposed to be here. Like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm not talented enough to be here. I feel like I should talk about what it's like to be a woman in this environment. But after this play, I'll say something about it. So I think that specific experience was like, venting to Serena about that feeling, and her kind of reassuring me you wouldn't be invited there if you weren't meant to be there, Can you really see? Look at Snelson in the trenches. I'm about to do that same shit. What helps me be less intimidated is like, I like really view a lot of these players as like kids. I like hanging with the big boys. Dude, I was so cringe, bro. There was a shoot I did that introduced the retro uniforms for men's basketball, and John Snelson, who's the creative services director for Colorado football, noticed my work from that project and was like, hey, do you want to come shoot a recruit shoot that we have coming up?
Zion was introduced to the football program during a recruit shoot. And from then on, our friendship has just grown, and as I got more involved in video production, I really was able to connect with Zion, and she was able to become a really valuable mentor to me.
Also being one of the few girls, two of three girls on the football creative team, you just naturally get close to each other and find commonalities between experiences and stuff, and so I think that's how our relationship like truly developed in that manner. I want to like sit next to you and talk to you, but I know I can't.
Most of my time here, I've been one of few women on the football floor. When I joined, I was one of 3. Right now, I'm one of 2, and last year, I was one of 1.
I think the saying "it takes a village" really doesn't just apply at like your earlier stages of life when you're young, but like throughout all your life. Having a village of strong, impactful women that can help lead you and guide you is huge, and I think you need it at every stage of your life. When I received the Student Support Services Award, Serena Archer wrote this beautiful letter just detailing everything that I did to impact CU athletics.
In my mind, it was a no-brainer.
That was like, why am I getting emotional? That was like, yeah, that was definitely one of the proudest moments that I had, but don't look at me. I don't know. I get emotional. Fuck. Hold on. I refuse to cry on camera.
I've told this to Zion, but if I can have even just an ounce of the empathy and the talent and the good-heartedness that Zion has, like, I will live a good life because she's a pretty incredible person.
Zion had been asked before she graduated who she felt could fill her shoes. Her response was, "Allie will if you give her a chance."
It's like, I love to watch people that I love and care about succeed, and if there's a way that I can guide them towards that, that's what I want to do.
The next fall, after she had graduated, I had talked to Stelson briefly about maybe making a video for the Jumbotron.
I've like pulled out my phone at games and filmed an intern watching their intro video play on the video board for the first time, because I usually got goosebumps. That's just such a special moment, like to see all of their work and how excited they are about the content they're creating and how many people get to watch it and enjoy it and feel something and get goosebumps by it. And so I got to have those moments when I was an intern, and now seeing them with other interns it just makes me so proud.
And I do attribute that moment to Zion vouching for me. Having that belief, it's just been profound, I think, knowing that she would believe in me and believe in me so much that she says it out loud.
I think seeing other women around, it helps with that imposter syndrome feeling of like, oh, you know, like there's a bunch of guys around and men around and they don't want any woman around, and like, no, like there's like very important executive women within this building. I think it's so necessary to have other female leadership that you can look up to, and luckily for me, I had several, and I've always wanted to kind of pass that down to other girls who are younger than me and also seeking that out. Being in a predominantly male field like football, as, you know, not only just a woman, but as a black gay woman, those are like, you know, it's kind of a triple threat there. And Portia Paytas, who also used to work with the CU football team, she was definitely a significant mentor that I had as well.
I think it takes all of us as women to help break some of those prejudices that exist in sports. And again, no fault to the people that have worked in sports for 40 years, when 40 years ago, there probably wasn't a single woman in the end zone of this football field.
You know, don't be afraid to put yourself out there and push yourself and put yourself in spaces where you might feel like you don't belong.
That's something that I've carried with me throughout my time in sports, and knowing that the struggle will be okay, and I'll prove myself, and I'll learn, and I'll get better, and I'll feel like I deserve to be here because I do, because women do, and because I do.
If Serena doesn't cry in her interview, if you ask her about that and she doesn't cry, I literally will be so shocked. I'll pay you $20.
Such a pretty boy.
You're gonna fall off. Careful, buddy. That'd be traumatizing.
Don't fall.
You hop off?